Listen up. If you're sitting on just zero point 0.1 Bitcoin right now, you're mathematically positioned better than 99.75% of every human being who will ever exist on this planet. Yeah, you heard that right. That fraction of a coin puts you in the global elite, whether Wall Street believes it or not. While financial gurus are still debating if Bitcoin is real money, basic math is screaming that owning even a tenth of a Bitcoin in 2026 might be the smartest financial move you never knew you made. So buckle up because today we're breaking down exactly why that zero point 0.1 BTC stack isn't just relevant, it's potentially life-changing. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at your Bitcoin balance the same way again. Quick heads up, this is for educational and entertainment purposes only, not financial advice. Do your own research, folks, and consult a pro before making moves. Now let's talk about something Wall Street doesn't want you to understand: absolute scarcity. See, the Fed can print dollars until the cows come home, and they have been to the tune of trillions. But Bitcoin? There will only ever be 21 million coins. Period. End of story. No emergency money printer, no quantitative easing, no chairman in a suit deciding to juice the supply because the economy sneezed. Here's where it gets wild. If you own 0.1 BTC, you own 1/210 millionth of the total supply that will ever exist. Let that sink in for a second. Out of 8.3 billion people on Earth right now and counting, you've secured a piece of the most scarce monetary asset in human history. Do the math. 21 million Bitcoin divided by 8.3 billion people equals roughly 0.00253 BTC per person if it were distributed evenly. You've got 0.1? You're sitting on nearly 40 times the global average. That's not pocket change, that's positioning. But wait, it gets even juicier. A massive chunk of those 21 million coins are already lost forever. Early wallets gathering digital dust, hard drives in landfills, forgotten passwords taking millions of Bitcoin to the grave. Conservative estimates put the lost Bitcoin somewhere between 3 to 5 million coins. So the real circulating supply? We're probably looking at 16 million, maybe less. Suddenly, your 0.1 BTC isn't 1/210 millionth. It's more like 1 in 160 million of the actual usable supply. You're basically holding a winning lottery ticket, and most people don't even know the game exists yet. Now let's talk about who's not getting Bitcoin, and why that matters for you. Most people won't own any Bitcoin, let alone 0.1. Seriously, between lack of awareness, fear of technology, getting wrecked by altcoin scams, or just being too stubborn to question the dollar system they grew up with, the vast majority of humans will reach their deathbed with exactly 0 sats. Current adoption sits somewhere around 1 to 2% globally. Even if that explodes to 20% by 2030, and that's optimistic, we're still talking about a small fraction of humanity holding this asset. And here's the kicker that keeps me up at night in the best way possible. Institutions are coming. No, scratch that. They're already here. BlackRock, Fidelity, Wall Street giants who used to call Bitcoin rat poison are now hoarding it through ETFs and corporate treasuries. Spot ETFs alone are sitting on over 1.2 million BTC as of late 2025. When the big boys start playing, they don't nibble, they devour. They're buying hundreds, thousands of Bitcoin at a time. Meanwhile, retail investors like us, we're scrapping together sats wherever we can. The wealth gap in Bitcoin is forming right now, and if you've already stacked 0.1 BTC, you're ahead of the curve while others are still doom-scrolling TikTok, wondering if crypto is a scam. So here's a question that might be rattling around in your brain. What could 0.1 BTC actually be worth down the road? Now, I'm not pulling out a crystal ball here, but let's run some numbers that'll make your head spin. If Bitcoin hits $200,000 per coin by 2026, and plenty of serious analysts think that's within reach given the trends, your 0.1 BTC becomes $20,000. That's a down payment on a house in most of America. If Bitcoin reaches $500,000 per coin by 2030, which sounds insane until you remember gold's market cap is pushing $15 to $20 trillion and Bitcoin is gunning for it, you're looking at $50,000. That's a year's salary for many Americans. And if this thing really goes full global reserve asset mode and touches multi-million dollar valuations, well, let's just say you might want to keep stacking. Compare that to traditional investments. Your 401k with its 7% annual returns if you're lucky. By the time you retire, inflation has eaten half the purchasing power anyway, and you're still beholden to whatever Wall Street decides your nest egg is worth. Your savings account earning 0.5% interest while the dollar loses 3 to 7% in real value every year? That's not wealth building. That's wealth erosion in slow motion. But Bitcoin? It's like owning your own ranch versus renting Wall Street's penthouse. You hold the keys, you control the asset, and no banker can freeze your account because they don't like your politics or your transaction history. Speaking of control, self-custody is the ultimate flex here. And if you're nodding along thinking about your own setup, what's one thing holding you back from full self-custody? Share in the comments, because I'm genuinely curious what's stopping people from taking that final step. Now here's where the psychology gets interesting. 0.1 BTC feels achievable. One whole Bitcoin at current prices around $90,000? That's a six-figure flex that most regular folks can't swing. But $9,000 for 0.1 BTC? That's grindable. That's skip the vacation and stack sats territory. That's sell the jet ski you never use money. It's an attainable goal that doesn't require you to be a Silicon Valley tech bro or a Wall Street insider. It's the blue-collar, middle-class, everyday American wealth-building opportunity hiding in plain sight. And let's demolish a myth real quick while we're here. It's too late to get into Bitcoin. That's the same energy as saying it was too late to buy Apple stock in 2010 or too late to invest in the internet in 1998. Bitcoin is still early. We're still in the first or second inning of a 9-inning game. Global adoption is barely scratching the surface. Most countries haven't even figured out their regulatory frameworks yet. Your boomer relatives still think Bitcoin is for buying stuff on the dark web. When this thing truly goes mainstream, when every retirement account, every government treasury, every corporation has Bitcoin on their balance sheet as standard practice, the people holding 0.1 BTC today are going to look like absolute geniuses. The time to position yourself isn't when Bitcoin hits $500,000 and CNBC won't shut up about it. It's now, while you can still accumulate meaningful amounts without needing a second mortgage. It's while the doubters are still doubting and the skeptics are still skeptical. Winners in every market aren't the ones who buy at the top when everyone's euphoric. They're the ones who stacked when it felt uncomfortable, uncertain, and unconventional. So here's your action plan. If you don't have 0.1 Bitcoin yet, make it a goal. Dollar cost average. Stack sats. Cut the subscriptions you don't use. Skip the overpriced lattes. Make it happen. If you're already there, don't get comfortable. Keep building. And whatever you do, hold. This isn't a get-rich-quick flip. This is generational wealth building, long-term thinking, and betting on math over money printers. Smash that like button if you're team long-term Bitcoin holders. Subscribe for more Bitcoin firepower that cuts through the noise. Hit the bell so you never miss a drop when we break down the next big thing in crypto. Share this with your crew who's still on the fence about stacking sats. And let me know in the comments, what's your Bitcoin hot take? Are you stacking, holding, or still skeptical? Let's talk about it. Until next time, stay sovereign, stay stacking, and remember, 0.1 BTC isn't just a number. It's a position, and you're in it.